Streams up. Testing. Test.
Testing 1 2 testing. All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. After an incredibly long delay, we are back. We have 6 minutes till the final race off Assetto Corsa here at the Asia Pacific Motorsports Games in Sri Lanka. So we just have drivers tackling the circuit de Spa-Francorchamps, and unsurprisingly, it is Nakib Aslan currently topping the timesheets with a 2-minute 19.694. Currently at the top of the times as things stand here in the practice session. And currently, Danaranga has actually gone. He went P2, P3 briefly, but Luis Moreno has actually jumped Nakib Aslan to go P1 briefly, as Nakib Aslan already takes away that top position and goes right back into the top spot for the time being. There's a lot to play for in just under 5 minutes, where we will get underway with a 5-minute qualifying session, which will lead into the final 20-minute final race.
Hello everyone, once again we are back. Like Thiago said, we are back for the final here at the ever famous Spa-Francorchamps track, and of course what a place to be for the final. Of course, this track not only tests outside pace but also the mental fortitude to stay on the track, obviously, because of all its very notable sections like the run into the bus stop chicane and many others. Well, of course, we have the top 10 drivers, the first 5 and the other first 5 from the semi-final A and B. Like Thiago pointed out, notably Nakib Aslan taking P1 for now, but we have some specific challenges here to look out for. Of course, this is the merger race combining the two groups A and B. So, like we did for the other 2 races, Thiago, who do you got, or who do you have rather, for the race and quali?
Well, at the moment, the obvious option is Nakib Aslan. He is in the prime of his life right now. He is currently sitting at the top of the timesheets, 8.5 tenths ahead, I'd say, of Luis Moreno, but we are missing second place in the timesheets at the moment. So I'd say Nakib Aslan. He has the pace at the moment, take it all the way. But you never know what can happen at Spa. Turn 1 at Turn 1 is at La Source is obviously one of the trickiest turn 1s in obviously the F1 calendar, and I suppose even in the world of GT racing as well, alongside honorable mentions like the Nürburgring, other tracks with tight first turn hairpins. Anything's possible. So Naki Bazlan is not out of the woods just yet. But now Luis Moreno, he said that he's looking to potentially try and challenge Naki Bazlan for a win, or even challenge the other drivers for a podium here at Spa. And at the moment, he's staying true to his words because he is currently second in the practice standings as of now. He is currently only 5 tenths off Naki Bazlan as things stand, which is quite a good lap by. Oh, and we actually have a change of drivers in P1 with Chingit Yim going quickest with a 2:17.9. Where does that come from? That is a
Chicken Yin,
mighty lap from Chingit Yim. Are
Team Hong
we
Kong.
going to see a potential fight right up there against Naki Bazlan as Lam Chuk Nok now goes P3 as well? This is the state of this grand final here, ladies and gentlemen, because Dahanaranga at some point was P2, like right behind Naki Bazlan, and now he's sitting in P5, not improving this lap. So every lap matters, every corner matters, but Naki Bazlan has just responded with the fastest first sector we've seen in this practice session.
Can we also point out the fact that the top 5 drivers are all within a second of each other? So Naki Bazlan,
Around Spa of all places.
exactly. And of course, this track being one of the longest, especially in the F1 calendar, this track, unlike Silverstone, I would say is way more technical and allows more mistakes if not tackled properly, as we've had in multiple races ourselves, maybe even myself back in eSports, and I'm sure Thiago as well. It is a very technical track, and it is certainly a joy to drive if you nail it down. So it'll be very interesting to see all the top 5 drivers and all 10 drivers tackle this track, as we see the top 5 separated by merely a second.
This should be a very good lap for Luis Moreno, who has put himself into second place with a 2:18.1. We're waiting for Nakib Aslan though. Look at this time, Nevan. We are about to see an absolute flyer from Nakib Aslan. 2 purple sectors. He is flying. I would not be surprised if we see something close to a 2:16 here.
Christmas tree mini sectors from Naki Bazlan there.
He is
Beautiful.
flying.
That's a 2 minutes
And
17.
he has done it. 2:17.076. Wow. That is a quick lap. That is a very quick lap. What a way to stamp his authority as the practice session finishes. He's just opened up practically a second place, 8 tenths to Chinkit Yim, who at one point with a 2:17.9 was looking in the hot seat to potentially be the favorite for pole position. Aki Bazlan has just responded with this lap. What a lap. 3 purple sectors. Right. We'll take this
All right,
just
Thiago.
look through the live chat. We don't really have much conversation in the live chat right now. Let's see some interactions in the live chat. Let us know who you're cheering for in this grand final. Let us know who's representing your country.
From the Asia Pacific region. We need to see the fans from Malaysia, Hong Kong, Philippines, Sri Lanka. We need to see those reactions in the chat. So go on. Your drivers. This is the grand final, guys. Ladies and gentlemen, the grand final.
As we wait for the final drivers to just come across the line or return to the pits, we can soon get underway with the 5-minute qualifying session.
Mr. Thiago, I think like last time, is it going to be a leaderboard stream share? Yes, it is. I think so, right?
Will probably be a leaderboard screen share here.
All right. So
Okay.
Nakib Adlan, the man to beat in the practice session.
Qualifying session. So Nevan, with a 2-minute 17 lap, this is actually a very, very close qualifying session for drivers to get their lap times in time, if you think about it.
Indeed, yes, it is. Spa is a very long track, and inherently, the outlap takes as much. The outlap is pretty much your first lap. So in reality, you only get one lap here. So
Yeah,
this is
at
a
best,
one-shot qualifying.
at best you could get two if you're lucky, but because of the length of this track in general, the tires are going to be cooked. We saw that in Silverstone with both qualifying sessions last time out, where the tire wear just went away from the drivers by the time they got around for that second lap. Will Spa be the same as Silverstone based on their on its tire degradation? We shall soon find out. Historically, Silverstone is known to have absolutely crazy tire wear. So this should be something interesting to look out for in this qualifying session. Qualifying is underway, so we can see everybody going out on their outlaps. Um, we have just 4 minutes left. It's already a minute has already passed in this qualifying session, so we already have 4 minutes left in this qualifying session.
And they've only just made it to no name.
Exactly, and can perform the best under pressure. That is what
Of
we're
course,
going
like you
to.
said, of course, like you sorry to cut you off there, Thiago, but of course, like you said, this outlap being one of the longest and also the potential to overheat your tires, the track temps show 46 degrees Celsius. And if history has shown here, if you do
Leave Naman might have cut off there, but just follow on to what he was saying. 46 degrees. If you overheat your tires too much going into your first lap, there's no guarantee that you're going to be able to hold on through the first sector of this brutal Spa circuit, being La Source, obviously, on the exit, getting tail happy. You're going to overcook your tires on the exit of that first or second gear corner. And once you do that, you're setting yourself up for failure going up Erouge and Radion with overheating tires. You need your car to be as stable as possible going through Erouge and Radion. If not, you are in big, big trouble because that momentum through the uphill section carries on all the way down the Kemmel Straight. So we just sit and wait now for the first laps to come through. We see the drivers now coming around to start their first flying laps.
So, Thiago, it
What is
seems like this is going to be the only lap they're going to get because with 2 minutes and 20 seconds left in the session,
I don't see what's happening here. We see, well, we're in the dark just as much as you guys are. We appear to have lost feed from our side. But based on the actual timings in itself, I'm actually seeing Chinket Yim currently has actually started their lap the earliest. Based on the first sectors, Naki Baslan has set the fastest first sector by just a tenth of a second to Luis Moreno. So things are actually really close up at the front. Gabriel Wee is actually on track to be only a tenth and a half off Naki Baslan here. So don't count out Gabriel Wee from this equation here.
and of course, Gabriel V's surgical precision, the rally driver, the eSports rally driver that he is, very crucial, I would say, in the very last sector as well as sector 2 here. So, like you said, don't count out Gabriel V just yet. But as of right now, Thiago, it looks very close.
Gabriel Wee currently provisionally second after the first sector. After the first sectors, the second sector is quickest. It's quickest for Naki Baslan. He has set a 101.2 in the second sector, and Gabriel Wee, that second sector has just gone away from him. He's 1.5 seconds off Naki Baslan in just the second sector alone. But who is up there with Naki Baslan? It's Chinket Yim, only 2 tenths off in that second sector, 2 tenths off in the first. So he's only 4 tenths off Naki Baslan going into the final sector.
The bus stop chicane, make or break here.
The middle sector from Naki Baslan is brilliant. A 101.2, it's the fastest we've seen from practice and from qualifying. And Naki Baslan will go quickest with a 2:16.9. We're into the 2:16s. We are into the 2:16s. What a lap from Luis Moreno as well, a 2:17.3. Things are close in this qualifying session. Tejane Ranga coming through with a 2:18.2. So now we turn to see what they can do for their second lap, because they do have one more attempt at this. And I'm more intrigued to see that most of these drivers have actually managed to set a legal lap here. Everyone has set a legal lap. No one has invalidated the lap here. So
For
in the
now,
second laps, Nakib Aslan matching his first lap, Luis Moreno matching Nakib Aslan.
so they just about made it into the second lap, which means now that they've set a banker lap, we could see more drivers pushing harder now going into this final lap. Any changes, Thiago, or do you think this is going to be a final one?
I would not call that 2:16.9 a banker lap by any means. That is crazy quick lap. That is almost matching the qualifier times of. Remember, to qualify for this APMC event, the track and car was this very track and car selection. Nakib Aslan is not too far off the overall qualifier times we were setting. So after the second sectors, we're coming up on the second sectors very, very soon, in maybe 5 seconds time. Who has the pace? It's a purple second from Nakib Aslan. Oh my goodness. Another man to look out for is Tejane Ranga. He is improving his lap time, but he is still a staggering 8/10 off Nakib Aslan on his
we're seeing people aborting their lap. Andrew Sean,
Yep.
Chakraborty, and Chinkit Yim aborting their laps.
Yep, they've all decided that they're going to throw in the towel. There is no point going out again. So Luis Moreno, he's still going at it. He thinks he can improve. I don't see a way that he can improve on this lap, and he has also gone into the pits. What about Nakib Aslan, the man who has pole in the bag? He goes and improves to his 2:16.
Does it again.
The reigning champion has only gone and done it again. He's gone faster. He's got a 2:16.811. And Tejane Ranga also improving at the end to get into the 2:17s. Tejane Ranga is only 3/10 off the time of Luis Moreno. That is absolutely brilliant from the Sri Lankan as well. But there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Your provisional qualifying order is Nakib Aslan from Malaysia, Luis Moreno, Chinkit Yim, Tejane Ranga, Amarul Naim, Lamchok Nok, Rahul Chakraborty, Andrew Sean, Gabriel Wee, and Abdullah Ayaz will round off the top 10. So as the screen dims, we caution race control to switch the stream screens to show the actual track now instead of the live lap times.
Of course, with the end of qualifying, that brings about the race.
Exactly, and we can see the stream, and I will let you go ahead with the start, Nevan.
Thank you, Thiago. Of course, with 20 seconds on the countdown, it all comes down to this, folks, lining up here at Spa-Francorchamps. Everybody facing the run down into Eau Rouge. It's all to play for here in the Assetto Corsa APMC Championship as we go to the 6 red lights. And we are underway. Nakib Aslan takes the lead and followed by Luis Moreno and Chinkit Yim, who's going to be in the front after Eau Rouge as Luis Moreno looks for a move down the inside. Nope, Nakib Aslan keeps it clinical around there. As you see, was that contact? I don't think so, but it's Nakib Aslan leads the way, followed by Luis Moreno and Chinkit Yim. First, second, and third for the run down to Eau Rouge.
There was contact between Lamchuk Nok and Tejane Ranga. Tejane Ranga down to 6 now. Half the grid skipping Eau Rouge and Radion. But I've just been notified that there is also now contact between Andrew Sean and Gabriel Weed down the back straight. There is big damage for some of these drivers, and I believe we might have contact into the Camel.
Contact. Amirul Naim collides with Ranga.
There is so much contact going through here, but Chinkit Yim has managed to get their way through the second place, if I read that correctly.
Have we lost?
Yep.
7, 8, 9,
Yep.
and 10.
Yeah, Ticket Yim is in second now, ahead of Luis Moreno. But where is the rest of the grid? Okay, we see the rest of the grid filing through in single order. But that was a crucial move for Chinket Yim, who seemed to have the pace to potentially keep in tabs with Naki Baslan. We
Oh
see in
dear,
the
and that's
pit.
a Sri Lankan car in the
Oh,
pits.
is that Andrew Sean? I
It
believe
is
that is
Andrew
Andrew
Sean.
Sean
Oh
in the
dear.
pit. Oh, that is unfortunate for Andrew Sean. We did see that there was contact, and now Andrew Sean exiting the pits, but there is still one more driver in the pits. I believe that might be Rahul Chakraborty. Bangladeshi Rahul Chakraborty once again having contact early on in the race. It's incredibly unfortunate for the Bangladesh driver who finished 5th in the semi-finals due to contact or spinning on his own early on in the race. But this time round, there must have been some severe contact as we see Naki Mazlan. Actually, not even just Naki Mazlan, everybody blocking up going into the bus stop chicane. But that's the end of lap 1.
Oh no!
Dehanaranga into the pits.
That was Tehanaranga going into the pits.
Dehanaranga has gone into the pits. That's both Sri Lankan drivers in the pits at their home race. I told you there was contact between Tehanaranga. There was contact between Tehanaranga and I believe it was Lamchok Nok. Lamchok Nok in early on in the race, maybe at turn 1, but that is a disaster for the two Sri Lankan drivers.
Unfortunately for Tehanaranga, who seemed very competitive at the start of this race, as well as finishing P3 in the Group B race.
Tehanaranga has come out of the pits pretty quickly. I believe that might have been like a drive-through penalty which he was dished out.
Oh, that could be the case.
He might have very well been dished out a drive-through penalty because you cannot go into the pits and come out that quickly unless there was some kind of miscalculation in the pit stop assignment that he selected.
Also, are you seeing this, Thiago?
What?
Chinket Yim has fallen behind Luis Moreno.
Oh my goodness, yes. Luis Moreno is now ahead of Chinket Yim. When has this happened? There must have been some sort of a mistake, maybe through Rouge and Radion, but now Luis Moreno is going to have to tackle back market traffic going through this portion of the track as we have Rahul Chakraborty, I mean, out of the pits with his car repaired, but realistically, I believe Luis Moreno does have the better outright pace at this stage of the race anyway. Will Rahul move out? Yeah, I believe he is. He knows he's not racing against these leaders. Yes, he moves out of the way, but will he move out of the way for Yim? He has.
Well, of course, we can see Team Hong Kong behind Luis Moreno in the form of Chinky Yim and Lamchok Nok chasing down the Filipino driver Luis Moreno, who in turn is chasing now with a lockup going into the bus stop. The man to watch right now, the man in the lead, Naki Baslan, commandeering this race.
Oh my goodness.
That gap is insane.
Evan, look at the lap time that Naki Baslan has just set. 2-minute 16.6.
Oh my goodness. Faster than his qualifying session.
2/10 quicker than his qualifying lap, and mind you, this was not courtesy of a tour of any sort. Granted, track evolution and track conditions might have potentially changed, but that does not mean that does not take anything away from that lap. You just say that because a 2:16.6 is outrageous at this stage of the race.
Indeed, Thiago. In this part of the race, like you said.
Would you believe it? He's gone faster in the first sector.
That is absolutely insane. Total domination.
It's unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable from Naki Baslan. But regardless, we'll ride on board now with Amarul Naim. Amarul Naim also potentially a Team Malaysian driver. Not too certain. I believe he is. So Amarul Naim doing well. He's currently running a consistent 5th. He finished, I believe, was it third in semi-final A. Now with the collaboration of the two semi-final top 5 finishers, we see Emerald 9 still maintaining a confident 5th position.
Of course, we have Emerald 9 being the only Brunei driver here. I'm sure a lot of people back home in Brunei are cheering him on, as you can see in the live chat as well. We have 9 supporters, and I'm sure even though he's in this position right now, he must be very proud to be driving for Brunei here at the APMC Championship.
100%, as Amarul gets past Rahul Chakraborty, who, it must be said, has had, that's a very big lockup from
both the Hong Kong drivers.
Yeah, very big lockup. Potentially chasing Luis Moreno. They're trying their level best to catch back up to the Filipino driver with just under 13 minutes to go. The race has flown by. We're almost at halfway distance. One more lap, we're almost at the halfway point of this race already.
Chinky Diem also notably having a little bit of damage to the side of his car, but once again, like in the Group A race, I'm sure it's purely cosmetic. And it hasn't affected his race because he's keeping up with... Sorry?
Would you believe it? Aslan has off his lap.
Just keeps on shattering those records, doesn't he?
216.636 this time. Oh, it's only half 10 improvement. Come on, Nakib. Got at least a couple more tenths than you. This is absolutely brilliant stuff to watch. All these drivers pushing each other to the max. It must be said, Luis Moreno has not let Nakib Aslan run away with things here by any means. The gap is still under 4 seconds, almost reaching the halfway mark. So one slip up from Nakib Aslan into the gravel, and Luis Moreno is there to pick up the pieces.
Around Radion, of course, Luis Moreno demonstrating absolute calmness in this scenario because, well, if he looks in his rearview mirrors, there's Toyota liveried BMWs in the form of the Hong Kong team hunting him down, of course, with Chinky Gim from his group earlier, and of course, Ramchak Nok chasing him down, the driver from Group A who finished P2. But of course,
so very soon we're going to have a battle brewing with Tehanaranga at Ayaz, where Ayaz is being caught by the Sri Lankan who appeared to have to serve some form of a penalty or was just a victim of a miscalculation on pit entry. So the gap between Abdullah Ayaz and Tehanaranga is at the moment 2 seconds, but we shall soon find out what the updated gap is. I believe it is still roughly 1.5 to 2 seconds, as that lap, okay, Nakib Aslan is still human. That lap was a 2:17.1 from the Malaysian driver. But one thing to be noted is Nakib Aslan potentially going into a tire management phase off this race, as Luis Moreno only 3.5 tenths slower than him that lap. Either Luis Moreno has found something with the tire that's clicked to him, or Nakib Aslan has sensed that 4-second gap and has realized he has a buffer to take things a little bit easier, let the tires bed in properly, and not go and overpush things.
If you remember from
let's just rotate back. Sorry to interrupt you, but let's just rotate back to Tehanaranga because I believe he's close to Abdullah Ayaz.
No, he's past him.
He's past Abdullah Ayaz. I saw that gap closing. Yep, so Tehanaranga moves up into P6 at the mercy of Abdullah Ayaz. So next up on Tehanaranga's list, a little bit of a harsh out. It's 10 seconds to Emerald 9 up ahead. Will Tehanaranga be able to pull back that gap and get a potential top 5 finish? We'll soon find out. But what were you saying, Naman, for this?
Well, of course, we can't say too much about Luis Moreno just yet, because if you remember, in the previous race, his strategy was all about making sure that he doesn't overheat the tires. And especially at a track like Spa, if one overheats the tires in one lap, it's going to severely hinder you in the next. So, It will be very interesting to see where Luis Moreno goes with this race, because with Naqib Aslan setting these fast sector times, would that compromise his tyre wear in the long run? And will we see a late charge from Luis Moreno in the end of the race? Well, of course, not just the pressure of trying to catch up to Naqib Aslan, but also the pressure of trying to keep the two Hong Kong guys behind, as Chinggit Yim is still showing no sign of slowing down.
Always potential for anything to happen, but as you say, the tire wear, it will come into effect, but that last lap, there's a clear difference between Naqib Aslan and the fighting drivers behind him in the second and third sectors. That second sector, Naqib Aslan on the last lap was able to pull out 4/10 in both the second and third sectors, with the first sectors being quite even. The first sector is pretty bog standard. It is one corner, a flat out Rouge and Radion, and then the Camel Straight. The second sector, a minute-long sector, is where it really separates these drivers' times. So Naqib Aslan, either he's excessively pushing his tires through those sectors just to create the gap and then cool things off in the long, straight-ridden third and first sectors. It's always the potential for that to be the reason why his times are what they are right now. He might just be utilizing his tires more in this second sector, allowing them with the knowledge that his tires will cool off naturally in the first and third sectors.
Of course, as we go on board Naqib Aslan and to the fourth call, it appears that the stream is a little zoomed in. Just a small heads up. But yes, we are on board Naqib Aslan as he rounds Radion as well, maintaining the cool and level-headed guy that he is. With the gap, Thiago, correct me if I'm wrong, Luis Moreno increasing the gap, I think. Naqib Aslan.
Yeah, you're right, we can only actually see the zoomed-in version of the I hope the stream has not been showing this zoomed-in screen for that long. Either way, there hasn't been too much taking place so far in this race, which I've missed out on. The time has actually flown by quite quickly. There's only 6.5 minutes left in this race, so that is roughly 3 laps of racing left in this race. And Naqib Aslan is absolutely flying away with things. As we can see the stream slowly getting put back together in one piece. The gap between the top two is now sitting at 5.6 seconds, but Chinggit Yim has not let Luis Moreno run away with things. He's kept up with Luis Moreno and is still right there with the Filipino driver.
Of course, Team Hong Kong showing absolute resilience when it comes to this final here.
Oh yeah.
Mad props to them as well, holding their own here against the persistent driver Luis Moreno here, as well as maintaining, as well as Lamchuk Nok pulling away from Amirul 9, but very creditable to the driver from Brunei here, as we see more support for Amirul 9 here in the live chat of the APMC eSports final here.
What we love to see. We love to see the support from all fans from all over the world. But yeah, the race has reached a little bit of a stagnant phase at the moment, with drivers being spread out all throughout the field so far. With Naqib Aslan now, he feels like he has it in the bag if he just keeps things calm, but just as I say he needs to keep things calm, he has set a purple first sector, so this man is definitely not keeping things nice and tidy. He is going and pushing this car to another level. Second sector, potentially slowing him down, but let's just ride on board with him. Let's just see his inputs. He's not even exceeding track limit on the exit of Blanchimont. Just a little bit deep on entry, but again, who am I to stop? This is the master himself, up the line, see what the lap time is. We know you're pushing for a fast lap. Let's see what it was. A 2:17.2. That is, in my opinion, just tires going off on him near the end. His middle sector was not his quickest. He was roughly 3/10 off in the middle sector. But let's see Luis Moreno's commitment through Rouge and Radion here. Let's see if we can hear a lift.
Oh, I just realized. I think I mixed up the corner names. I thought this is La Sauce, the hairpin. I said Eau Rouge at the very start of the race. My apologies, guys.
So no lift whatsoever. That was flat out through Rouge and Radion. That is commitment on another level.
Amirul Naim as well, doing the exact same thing. No hesitation whatsoever.
We can see a different in line entries as well, where Luis Moreno was able to take a more narrower, sharper entry line, whereas Amirul Naim actually opened up the corner a lot more. So next lap, I'd be curious to see the POV off, the onboard POV off Naki Baslan, just to see what he does through Rouge and Radion on what will most certainly be his last lap of the race, unless Naki Baslan was to consider actually going around for one more lap. It's going to be close, actually. With the time remaining in this race, 2 minutes 34 seconds, it might be close. As Naki Baslan reached the middle sector, it's roughly 30 seconds from the final sector. No, this will be the penultimate lap off this race, because there's
indeed it is the very commanding drive from Naki Baslan as well.
I was slightly considering the fact that Naki Baslan might genuinely get there in time to start another lap after this, but not to be. So we will see this be the penultimate lap. Okay, so as we ride on board with
If we
Naki
can
Baslan,
go on board.
Yeah, if we can go on board just for this final bit, there does not seem to be any other battles on track at this moment in time. So let's just take a moment to appreciate the race leader.
Naki Baslan himself.
Final lap of this APMC AC event. See, getting out of turn one on either first or second gear. First gear. Let's see the line entry through here.
Very sharp.
He's basically got a mixture of both Luis Moreno's style and Amirul Naim's style. Amirul Naim opened up the corner way more. Luis Moreno was a lot more sharper on entry, so Naki Baslan basically doing the best of both at that point, and he's matched his personal best fastest first sector of the race with that first sector. Is he going to try and end this race off with a bang?
He may be, Thiago, and if there's one thing I can say about Naki Baslan, my apologies, Naki Baslan, this race, is that he's been very surgical with the way he's driven. He has never cracked under pressure here, and if there's one moral of the story we can take away from him, take your sins wherever you go. You need that extra practice to get this fast.
But let's not take anything away from the rest of the grid as well, because this has actually been a significantly closer grand final than we saw in the semis, with Luis Moreno still within 7 seconds of Naki Baslan. Albeit I would say Naki Baslan was saving tires, but again, I can't really say that because he's been pumping in purple sectors throughout the race. But he has been pushing all race. But if you look at it, Luis Moreno has not been far off either.
I feel like Naki Baslan was more along the lines of not overheating his tires, whereas I think Luis Moreno was just aiming to not burn out his tires and wear them out. So what Naki Baslan has done is he's managed to maintain an amazing amount of control over the car and his tires as well.
We have going on up ahead from Gabriel Wee. Gabriel Wee trying to just unsettle Naki Baslan, just going into the bus stop chicane, but he knows that this is the race leader. The lead is on the final lap, and Gabriel Wee might just move aside to let Naki Baslan through over the finish line, or doesn't. But there we have it. Naki Baslan crosses the line to win the gold medal back-to-back at the Asia Pacific Motorsports Games.
With Luis Moreno in second place. Champion drive from both of these guys. And Chinkit Yim rounds off the podium in P3, followed by Lamchuk Nok in P4. And of course, Amirul Naim for Brunei in P5. P6, the man, Tehanaranga.
Sri Lankan top dog.
Honestly,
Finishing off
Thiago,
in
what a
P6
drive from all
after
these guys.
oh yeah, after a tough drive through the penalty. Danaranga coming through P6, and P7 goes to Abdullah Ayaz. Andrew Sean, also hard done by with significant damage on the first lap. Had delay having to repair his car in the pits. He will come home in 8th place, still the top of 10 in Asia.
Well, of course, Thiago, the man of the hour, the man of the day, Naki Aslan, taken gold medal back to back in the esports division here at
Oh yeah,
APMC. I'm sure we'll be getting
pretty
him for a
dominant.
little driver's interview here.
Oh yeah, I will leave that driver's interview to you.
Indeed, okay.
I might chip in over here and there.
Of course, of course. But of course, everybody here, we can't take anything away from these guys. This is your top 10 in the Asia Pacific region for esports. So at the end of the day, congratulations to everybody here. Gabriel V from Singapore, Amirul Naim from Brunei. Of course, the guys from Hong Kong, Lamchuk Nok and Chinkit Yim. Naki
Here's your
Baslan
man,
from Malaysia.
Gabriel Wee, giving us a little bit of a weaving show as he comes through Blanchimon for the final time. Good run from most of these drivers. Just unfortunate that there was lap one damage for quite a few of them. Some requiring penalties to be served, some requiring damage to be repaired. Will we see anything fancy from Gabriel Wee? Yes, we will.
Oh,
We will see some donuts from Gabriel Wee. This is what you like
what
to
a way
see.
to wrap it up.
Yep. Gabriel, go on. You can reverse. You can reverse over the line. It's all good. We will not disqualify you for it.
Go on,
Putting
Gabriel.
off Thomas Braunhart. All right. We've got Gabriel Wee rounding off the top 9. I believe we're still waiting for Rahul Chakraborty. Oh no, that was the final car to cross the line. So yes, that rounds off the Assetto Corsa finals, essentially, with Naki Baslan coming out victorious. So major congratulations to Nakib. And we just wait briefly just to see if there's anything coming soon. I believe we do have an interview coming soon. We'll try to keep things short with Nakib. I'm sure he wants to go and celebrate with his team.
Indeed.
Yes, I believe we're 2 minutes out. So Naman, how'd you find that day of racing action? I know it was slightly delayed. Well, Nakib will be joining us apparently.
All right. I'll hold that question for now, Thiago, but let's speak to Nakib first.
Hello guys.
Hello, welcome back to the Combox, Nakib.
Nice to be back.
Well, that just looked like a walk in the park for you.
No, definitely not.
I need to know one thing.
Yeah.
How did you pull off not just that qualifying lap, but that race fastest lap? That was a 2:16.6 in the race.
Yeah.
What was your thought process through that race? Were you pushing to the max, or were you trying to save your tires?
So I think during qualifying I was focusing on making sure I get a banker in first, and we did that. And then when I noticed the gap between the P2 was a bit close, I thought, okay, let's just up the risk a little bit, gain a little bit there. But in the race, ultimately, I noticed the wind had changed a bit, and
Okay.
I was picking up a higher top speed, so I thought, okay, let's try push it a bit. Ultimately, I think it killed my tires a little bit. So midway through, it's really struggling out there to try and maintain it. If not, I think if I was a bit mindful of the tires and not pushing for that crazy lap time, I would have maintained it 16s all the way. But you live and learn. But yeah, I think it was nice to get that faster lap time in the race compared to the quali.
Oh yeah. We were just watching to see just how many fastest laps you would do, because it was just pumping in purple sectors after purple sectors. Devan, do you have anything for Nakib?
Yes, well, of course, Nakib, first of all, congratulations. It's a
Thank you very
back-to-back win for you. Tell us your thought process behind the differences of this track compared to Silverstone. What was going through your mind with this track as opposed to Silverstone?
Oh, it's very different. I think the Spa has more complexities in terms of the corners, has more variety of corners compared to the others, as compared to Silverstone. So it was trying to adapt to manage how late could you brake, how much speed could you carry through the fast corners. So yeah, I think it's a whole different process of mind when you come into Spa compared to Silverstone. It was just good that due to the practice that we've had, I was fortunate enough to have a switch in my head to change between the two different tracks.
And of course, one more question, Nakib. What was going through your mind when you rounded the last few corners of the track to take home another gold in the APMC?
Well, ultimately, I saw a car in front of me and I thought, hang on, I shouldn't be overtaking someone at this point, right? But yeah, just making sure that final lap, bring it back home, no unnecessary risks. I needed to bring it back. First to win, you need to finish, and yeah, that's what we did. I think before I forget, huge thank you to my supporters, Axel Sports, MAM, KBS, Rakamuda, ESI. They all made this possible. They made this, the opportunity for me to represent Malaysia and bring back glory for the country. So yeah, really proud and really happy.
All right, Nakib, I'm sure your team and especially Alex will all be happy with your performance today. We're going to just let you go celebrate with them. All congratulations on your performance today.
Thank you, mate. Thank you. Cheers.
Congratulations, Nakib.
All right, and so Nevon, that rounds off a pretty long first day. I hope to potentially try and join you again tomorrow for iRacing, but no promises.
Of course.
This was quite a late night to morning for me in
Yes,
Canadian
indeed, of
commentary.
course. It was.
I have started
Made a
commentary.
commitment.
I have started commentary at 4 a.m. and the sun is now up in bright sunshine. So
Well, of
I
course,
hope
thank you for joining,
everybody.
Thiago, and
Yeah,
thanks to Racewards for allowing us to join. Of course, it was a pleasure to
mhm,
commentate for this
yeah, and
series. It was good racing.
most of all, thank you to all the fans that have actually tuned in. I believe we had over 50 people actually at once tuned in for that grand final. So thank you to everyone that tuned in and interacted. It was good fun, and we will see
Indeed.
you very, very soon.
All right. See you very soon, guys. Assetto Corsa is now officially done. We have our top three drivers. And tomorrow, you join us, as Thiago said, for iRacing Formula 4. So don't miss out on that as well. We need the same support we had today. We shall see you tomorrow. Take care, everyone.
Take care.